So long as like alchemy.
Warriors-Pacers in their second meeting in just a week. Indiana got them at Oracle Arena. Golden State coming off that impressive performance in OKC, but the Pacers fighting for home court advantage in the East came out furious and very physical. KD not liking the lack of a whistle. Clay off the close curl got it to go, but just 16 points on the night for Mr. Thompson. But Nate McMillan's got this team playing defense. They're dialed in and ready for the playoffs, playing this game like a playoff game. There's Lance making them dance above the rim on the breakaway. Sloppy turnovers for Golden State, who didn't react well to the physicality of this game. This time it's Bogdanovic schooling the rookie with the deceleration step in the lay, and Bogdanovic was huge all night. Oladipo, 21, getting where he wanted, when he wanted, all the way to the rim against this vaunted Warriors defense. There's the pulley. And this potential Philly-Pacers first-round matchup is very intriguing. Now look at Oladipo back up and then get a head full of steam towards the rim. Much like Russ or LeBron, you can't let him get that much momentum towards the basket. Golden State, 16 turnovers on the night. In the second half, this thing got ugly. Here's a perfect example of the effort level between these two teams. Loose balls, 50-50 balls, anything that was an effort play. Indiana won it all night. Livingston to the ground, no sir. Look at them dive, fighting. This is a playoff-ready team. And then Oladipo, yeah, he can shoot, but he really likes to hammer it. So there was extendo garbage time in this game where Kerr, interesting, left the starters in the fourth quarter. High pick and roll. Thaddeus Young's going to finish it off with another dunk. This crowd was ready, and it was kind of a little statement game. How about Bogdanovic? 6 threes for 28 points on the night. Pacers roll the champs. All right, Joe. You know, I've done the whole quick reaction after one of these games where you get angry alchemy, right? And I was angry. Make no mistake about it. This game, I mean, who wasn't? As a Warrior fan, this is just not what you want to see headed into the playoffs. Now, I wanted to sleep on it, and I also wanted to hear the post-game reactions because a lot of the times I hop on these videos, it's right after the game. I like to do that because it's fresh on my mind, and it's my immediate first take reaction. But I wanted to hear what they had to say because there were several things that irritated me from different elements of the game. But I want to start off by, I'm going to give you a few reasons. There are a few elements involved in why this outcome happened. The time of day thing is real, okay? I don't know, as our human bodies, they're very timing based. If you noticed, you're usually hungry at the same time, right? Of day. You usually go to sleep around the same time. You usually do your business around the same time, right? Your body is on a schedule. Those of you that hit the gym, right? Let's say you're a after work gym goer, and one day because of your schedule, you got to go in the morning. That's tough, right? You don't feel as strong. You don't feel like you have the same amount of energy because your body is not on that schedule to be active at that time. There's a big UFC coming up this Saturday. And these fighters, the smart ones, they train. They try to time it where they train at the same time they think they're going to be fighting that fight, so their body's used to that time. And so what I'm getting is that early East Coast start for the Warriors, you could tell they started off sluggish. You could say, oh, they were in Oklahoma City the other day. Well, you can throw that game out the window. There were so many other implications to that game and personal vendettas, if you will, and different things to that game, a possible playoff opponent that they were turned up for that game. The second thing is there was an emotional letdown from that game, right? Because I think that it was a big win. It was a big win. It was one of the few games in the regular season where you saw the Warriors kind of celebrate the win when the whistle, the final buzzer blew, right? And so I think there was an emotional letdown, and I think that there's an early start in Indiana. And then let's give Indiana credit. Indiana is fighting for home court advantage. And they're legit, man. They're very physical. Victor Oladipo has been the story for them, right? And most improved player, Sabonis. Miles Turner didn't do much, but they're well-rounded. And I was surprised. I was taken back by the physicality of the game. And, if it really bothered KD. KD has struggled in the last few games, the second half of the OKC game, and they were just playing real handsy and physical with them. And, hey, that's what the playoffs are going to be. So let's give credit to Indiana coming in, dialed in, Nate McMillan having these dudes play. And they're not too reliant on one player. That's what I like about Indiana. I mean, Oladipo is their star, but they get it from lots of different places. The second thing that I want to talk about and that had me hot was the refereeing. Because that's fine. If they're going to swallow the whistles and let this be playoff basketball, physical basketball, that's fine. But they have to be consistent on both ends. And there was a play in the second half where they hit JaVale for a moving screen that was real tic-tac. It was real tic-tac, especially the way the game had been called in the first half. Indiana comes down the next possession and gets a 3 off the same screen. And you saw Kerr get upset at that. I did not like that. And then the second thing that really bothered me was there was a clothesline. I think it was Bogdanovic, clothesline, kind of horse-collared KD from behind. And KD took a nasty fall to the ground. It was one of those ones like you see in football where you were worried about his knee buckling. They reviewed it. They say, no, it's a common foul. And then Quinn Cook wraps up Sabonis, and what was basically the same play. The difference was they both went to the floor, but it was the same play, and it was a flagrant. And so that had me really hot. You know, that had me pissed off, man. But ultimately, Indiana played way harder. You saw there were several plays where they didn't box out, and Kerr let them know about this. Now, here's the real story of this game. Never mind the X's and O's. Never mind the effort. All that can kind of be explained, right? Indiana needs the game. The Warriors coming off a big win, don't need it. Early start time, all that stuff, right? The refs not really helping, okay? So there's a lot of that. The big story in this game is the passive aggressiveness between Durant and Kerr that's kind of going on, because headed into the fourth quarter, the game is over. We're not giving a full effort. So to me, you don't play Kevin Durant in the fourth quarter. You just don't do it, because there is just what has happened this season. You can't do it. And I think Kerr kind of passively aggressive put KD, Draymond, and Clay out in the fourth quarter, the first 4 or 5 minutes with Sean Livingston. And, hey, they went on a 10-0 run, but it was besides the point. Everybody knew we weren't coming all the way back in this game. But it was kind of a passive-aggressive move by Kerr. Like, you guys are dogging it. I'm going to make you play through this garbage time a little bit. So, and I'm going to play this. I'll play this after this here. But so Kerr comes out, and I guess he was the most upset he had been all season in the locker room postgame. He dogged him out. He told him, man, y'all ain't giving up an effort. You didn't do nothing. We can't win a game like that. The effort was terrible. So shouts to Kerr for calling it how it was. But again, it is kind of understandable. I see what happened, but no excuses. But then they asked Durant, and Durant, man, we got to watch him, man, because he's just the things he's saying, they don't add all the way up, because he goes, oh, I think we gave effort. It wasn't an effort thing. They had a better game plan. Right? So we all know what that means. That's kind of right, you know, that edges towards coaching. But then right after he says they had a better game plan, he goes, yeah, they were more aggressive than us, and it took us a while. They came out and they basically said that they were playing harder in the beginning. And so which one is it? Which one is it, KD? So there's a little tugging and pulling going on, I think, between Kerr and Durant. And Durant just seems so sensitive to everything. Just admit, y'all didn't play as hard, you know, to me. But I did not like Kerr rolling out Clay, Draymond, and KD in the fourth quarter. At this point in the season, the way the season has unfolded, you let the youngsters play that fourth quarter. I didn't like that. Again, the refereeing, if you watched that Denver-Minnesota game, they're starting to let these guys play towards the playoffs. I don't know if the referees, they've swallowed their whistles, and okay, that's fine, but just be consistent with it. Now, Patreons, I got a surprise video for y'all coming today, breaking down that Denver-Minnesota game, because it looks like it may be one of those two teams that we play in the first round. So Patreons, check for that later this day. Moving forward, New Orleans, you expect, considering that Kerr dogged them out, and this was such an ugly effort, I believe it was the third worst loss of the season, you expect them to come out blazing against New Orleans Saturday, right? Sunday is the Suns. And then that final game against Utah, I don't think it's going to have any ramifications, because Utah has climbed up the playoff ladder. They're no longer really fighting in that 7 seed. They're more looking at the 4 or 5 seed. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.
Carrying in general was the main problem.
Where did you see that most? I know there was a loose ball in the line, or they were going after it hard, or was it just something like
just trying, you know, cutting hard, driving, maybe boxing out once in a while. Just in general, it's hard to win an NBA game if you don't put forth an effort at all.
Are you mad about this one? I know it's a relevant season. You've seen it a little bit.
Yeah, man, I'm embarrassed. I mean, I know that this game doesn't mean anything in the seeding. The playoffs start next week. It was an embarrassing effort, pathetic effort.
How much do you sense that going into play in terms of playoffs or just around?
Well, maybe they are. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's, you know, the game doesn't matter, so we'll try next week. So hopefully we will.
Does
similar feel to how you guys were going into the All-Star break?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even remember that. All right.
What do you see specifically with Kevin with his three-point shooting?
Tough night. He's a great shooter and just didn't make him tonight.
You guys got news on Patrick today. I mean, I know he's going to be out 4 weeks, but you consider good news, considering everything that's happened.
Well, considering, what happened, just him walking was good news. So we'll reevaluate in 4 weeks. I feel bad for Patty more than anything. I was hoping that the news would be better and that he'd be able to come back, over the next couple of weeks, but it's not the case. So he's got to, get healthy and we'll try to help him as best we can with our training staff, and we'll see where it all goes.
Is there any concern with guard depth?
Yeah, I mean, he's the head coach, and he has the right to do that. He sat there the whole game and watched what was right in front of him. So we got to be better. And, tonight we were off, but we can't be off as far as our effort, our intensity, because that's what we're playing for going into the playoffs. They were playing playoff basketball tonight, and we weren't.
What do you think contributed to that?
I don't have the answers. I don't have the answer to that.
Do you get a sense that you guys are just kind of ready for the playoffs to get here?
Yeah, that's the easy answer, but, at the end of the day, it's like it's tough to just turn it on, especially with missing, a guy like Steph. We need to, I think, coach is trying to look for our identity going into the playoffs, without Steph. And it's important to, I think, have some confidence going in and, have some rhythm going in. And the only way that we can do that is with our effort and intensity. And it just wasn't there tonight.
Did he play into you guys in the locker room?
Yeah.
Post-game?
Yeah.
As mad as you've seen him this year? Because, in his post-game presser, you've seen him.
Yeah, for sure.
Sean, you mentioned the identity. Where do you guys go from here? It's not just the fact that Steph's not here, but now we've got the news of Patrick being out of this for the first round.
I think we got to be pissed off a little bit, I think that's maybe a way for us, and it's tough, man. I mean, again, going to finals, blah, 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 and, winning 2 rings, it's hard to maybe turn that switch, but we got to challenge ourselves. I think Coach likes to call it game within the game, and I think that's hopefully how we can maybe challenge ourselves, maybe get pissed off at the start of the game, and come out and play hard.
And we did.
He said carrying in general was the main problem, and I think he said the concern was how close this is to the playoffs. I know it's irrelevant seating-wise, but are you concerned when you have that kind of performance in the playoffs?
No, I thought we cared tonight. We cared. Over the last few games, we care. But like I said, they played a better basketball game than us. I think they came out with a better strategy with being more aggressive than us. I think it took us a while to ramp the aggressiveness up. Like I said, in the fourth, they shot the ball well. They rebounded well. But I think we care. I mean, I think everybody in the locker room cares about.